What's up, everybody? Duane here. Welcome back to I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at 7 different Western New York locations. If you need to get a beer, get on over to Fatty Beer. I'm sure there's plenty of Sabres fans currently at the one downtown right now, throwing a few back, bitching and complaining about this game tonight as we are about to. But no better place to celebrate or mourn a Sabres game than Fatty Beer Company. Also, shout out to our sponsor at Extreme Discount Mattress, with Western New York's finest selection of mattresses and adjustable beds, featuring the cool gel memory foam, two-sided mattresses, cellular latex, organic mattress, Chatham & Wells, and of course Scott Living, all for 1/3 to half the supposed sale prices anywhere. So stop to any of their 7 locations across Western New York, or check out their website, extrememattress.com. If you're looking for even more savings, check out their new closeout center at 1625 Walden Avenue, Cheektowaga, up to 80% off their already low prices. Save a fortune on one-of-a-kinds, closeouts, and floor samples. Get a quality mattress for literally pennies on the dollar. Extreme Discount Mattress. We sell mattresses for less, a lot less. And, of course, if you mention you're a fan of Two Goalies, One Mike, you get yourself a free mattress protector with the purchase of any mattress from Extreme Discount Mattress. So make sure you let them know that you are a fan. And I'll do an honorary shout out to our other sponsor, Impulse Physical Therapy, Western New York. Have a slip and fall at work, on some ice, get hurt on the field, whatever it might be. You need to get back going again, get back on your feet, get back in there, whatever it might be. Impulse Physical Therapy of Western New York, located at 5087 Broadway, Suite 100 in Depew, New York, right next to California's 5-star facility, 5-star staff over there. So make sure you check them out, because they will take care of you. Alex Peters and his team. We are joined by one of my old goalie partners, Mike Flatley, going back to our ECC days. I don't know if we ever actually partnered. We tried out for the team. This guy didn't make it because he missed 2 days of the 4 days of tryouts. But we have shared the net on other occasions. But you were very adamant about wanting to come in here. But before I do kick it over to you, Mike, I'm going to kick it over to Connor. I'll let him lead things off. Hurls, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, because I think we've seen this script before, especially from this team at home. I just saw a quote of Darlene saying they need to be better at home. It's unacceptable, and I think that's a perfect way to put it. Like, you have the momentum in a game 5 against a team that's on the ropes, with a goalie that lets in 3 goals in a row on 3 straight shots, and somehow you can't harness the crowd and you can't harness the momentum to keep that going. I think that they kind of get really scrambly in their own end, and I think we saw that in the first 3 goals tonight. I mean, the second goal was kind of like the Tage goal that was going 8 feet wide, and it went off a skate into the net. So that's just a bad bounce. But the Sabres had a bad bounce on their first goal. Bad bounces happen in the playoffs, especially when you get the puck to the net. It's just really, to me, I think the biggest thing, and of course we'll talk about the goaltending, I just think generally it's really unacceptable, as Rasmus Dahlin said, to not play better on home ice in the playoffs. Like, this is what they've been waiting for not this group specifically, but what the fans have been waiting for 15 years, and they're 2-4 at home in the playoffs. It's just really, really unacceptable, and I think that's a good place to start.
Kick over to you, Mike. You got some background noise. I'm not sure if you can rectify that or not, but let it rip.
I mean, yeah, you're spot on. The home record is just insane, but I don't know how you even fix that at this point. It's, if you can't show up in front of your home crowd, as you just said, 15 years later, and just put on some sort of a performance, pretend you want to be there. It's getting to the point where it's almost embarrassing. We've been seeing just, we joke about these polls and everything like that on, they never win on kids' night. They never win on, in any of these situations where they have these big crowds coming to see them play. How are you professional athletes and you just can't show up? I don't understand it. As somebody who played, I played junior hockey in front of some crowds, and it was, there's 100 people there, and I wanted to show out for them, and not showing up for 20,000 is just insane to me. I don't understand. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know what's not being said in the locker room or what is and shouldn't be being said in the locker room. I just don't know. It's insane.
Earl's your response.
Yeah, it's bad. I think that starts with your leadership. Obviously, I think Dahlin didn't necessarily have his best game tonight, but more often than not, he's your best player. I think before we get into UPL, because I'm sure we'll talk about it a lot, Alex Tuch is not earning a new contract at the moment. And I'm glad that we've gone back and forth on this, right? Like when he has a good game, everybody says, sign him 8 years times 10.5 to 8 years times 11. And then when you look at this series, he's -9. He's got 0 goals, 0 assists. And tonight he had one shot attempt at 5-on-5. Like, that's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. And I think Tage took an irresponsible penalty, which led to a goal for the Canadians on the power play. Dahlin has been a little bit reckless, I think, especially that cross-check going into the net. And I think the leadership of this group, those three guys specifically, need to look in the mirror and talk to themselves, as they did after the Calgary loss at the beginning of that road trip on the West Coast, and be like, hey, like we're better players than this. Like, we have a responsibility to not only this team, but this fan base to play more within ourselves and use our talent, which in my opinion is greater than almost anybody on the Canadiens roster, with those three specifically, and have that win out. And currently, at least tonight from Dahlin's perspective, and basically all series from Tage and Tuch's perspective, that hasn't happened. And that is the reason they're down 3-2. That's the biggest reason, in my opinion, that they're down 3-2.
Yeah. Can you guys see the comments on this? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, we got them.
Okay, cool. They weren't showing for me at first. Yeah, listen, I'll chime in here now with my thoughts. The home ice disadvantage at this point right now is inexcusable. With how fired up that arena is for every single home game, the pregame shenanigans outside, you got 10,000 people at minimum out there in the rain, mind you, in the rain, celebrating, getting wild. You got the Blade Gang. Go down the list of all the pregame stuff that you have going on that should be working to your advantage. And for your guys like Alex Tuch and Tage Thompson to just be non-existent, it's inexcusable. And those are the guys that they go to after games to talk to and get their thoughts and their opinions and what they did right or what they need to do better. And like you hear the answers. We need to be better. I need to be better. This is like, well, where are you, dude? Because Saturday could be the last game of your season. And if you want a big contract, Alex Tuch, I need the fucking Alex Tuch from the Boston series. Where's that guy? Because of all teams that you probably hated outside of Boston or outside of Toronto, growing up as a Sabres fan, I have to imagine Montreal was right there with Toronto. So where are you? Where are you? Your hatred for this team when you grew up as a Sabres fan should be fueling you in this series. Where is it? If the fact that you want to get paid life-changing, generational wealth type of money, if that isn't enough motivation for you, then that should be. And if you want to try and convince me, Sabres fan, you Sabres fan, all these Sabres fans, that this crest right here means so much to you, go out there and prove it finally in this series. Because they have no points now in 5 games, and you want to get paid in double digits? Inexcusable.
I mean, at this point, if Tuch wants any more than $9 million, go somewhere else. He's not worth that, and this is proving it. Cool, you score 30+ goals in the regular season. Some of them are shorthanded. You're a great penalty killer. God bless you. That's cool. But when it matters right now, you've been invisible. Not having a point through 5 games of this series is not okay. You get a secondary assist by accident, especially when this team scores the goals they score, and you don't have a single point. It's not okay. I hope to God Tage is hurt. It sounds shitty, but I hope he's hurt because he is completely awful right now. And the 2 goals he got were fluke, both of them. You know, bounce off the stanchion and a perfect bounce off the backboards. You know, other than that, he's been absolutely horrible.
Liability on defense.
And Darlene is just the penalties. I love that he's playing tough. This is what we wanted when he was younger, to, you know, grow into being a tougher, stronger defenseman. But the penalties are out of control right now. You know, I love that I think it was Caulfield last game. He just dumped them into the post. It was great. It looked awesome, but it's a penalty, and we can't be taking these kind of penalties. And you're the captain. It's just absolutely not okay. And it's killed him to this point.
Hurls.
Yeah, it's bad. We'll start with UPL. I'm arguing with people online and my text messages, and I know you guys are probably way more passionate than I am, but I'll say this. Yes, this is representative of his career in the sense that he was pretty inconsistent. I don't put the first 3 on him tonight. I don't. The first 3 goals are not on him. If you look at the first goal, Timmins sends a pizza up the middle of the ice. Byram can't get to his guy, goes back door to Cole Caulfield. That's in your net. That's not on UPL.
Can I chime in 1 second real quick?
Yeah.
I'm not putting the first goal on UPL. The only thing I think I might have wanted more from him, because he's like 6'5" on skates. And I'll never condemn a goalie for being aggressive. But I think on that play in particular, the guy getting behind him, I just think I'd like him to trust his size a little bit more and maybe play a little bit more in his
and that's fine. It's fine to say,
but that's it. It's not on him. That's
yeah.
But I didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
It's fine to get technical, but I'm just talking like goal to goal here, right?
Yeah, it was a bad horrible.
And Timmins was after one of the best games of his career in Game 4 was absolutely fucking brutal tonight.
Yes,
he was so maybe he was hurt. He got a maintenance day today, but he was really bad. Second goal, really bad deflection. It was going 10 feet wide, and it goes off a guy, and he doesn't even know he scored. You can't put that on him. And then the third goal, Josh Anderson is wide open back door, and Timmins doesn't cover him, right? Like, yeah, like you would want him to come across his crease and make an unbelievable save to change the game, but I personally can't put that on him either. Fourth goal can't happen. Fifth goal is a power play, but it also goes under him, and it can't happen. So I think there's nuance to these conversations, and I think that we all know he's been inconsistent. He posted really good numbers for most of this season, and obviously he's had his games here and there. But obviously, game to game, he's hard to trust. And I get that. My whole thing this entire time is that at his ceiling, like we saw in Game 4 for the most part, especially in that third period, I think he can be really good. And we've all seen it. But the consistency has not been there. And obviously, tonight on those fourth and fifth goals, it's just inexcusable as a goalie. And it sucks to say, because I think people have mentioned the mental thing, which is hard to do unless you're a psychologist, I think. But like, it's just
Dobish did it tonight.
I mean, yeah, but like Dobish, I think, also got the benefit of his team playing better around him following that third goal as well. I think he made some good saves following that third goal, but I don't think he played out of his mind. I think
but he played good enough to win.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But also, like, the series is 3-2. Dobish hasn't been perfect. And he's also a fucking head case. The guy is out of his
he's Bennington 2.0.
Like, he's out of his goddamn mind. Like, if you breathe on him, he'll swing his stick. I just think, yeah, UPL, it is unfortunately the same narrative that we've talked about for a long time. And of course, Alex Lyon is going to play in Game 6. And if the Sabres win, Alex Lyon plays Game 7. But I don't think UPL is the reason the Sabres lost the game tonight. And I'll just say that.
I mean, two things with that. The difference there, you mentioned it, Dobish let in 3 goals on 5 shots, but he settled down. He made the saves he had to make from that point on, and that's what matters. He makes the saves he has to make. You know, and yeah, you look at the goals that UPL let in today. First one, maybe he overcommitted, but it's Suzuki and Caulfield. They're 2 elite players. They're going to make that play. They're 100% going to make that play. You know, second one's a bad bounce. I personally don't remember the third goal, but yeah, that fourth goal has to be stopped, especially when they're pushing, they're pressing on you. You got to have a save there. But I even look at, you know, Game 4, he played well. Don't get me wrong. He played very well, but I have the first goal, it was a one-timer, but if you notice, he was out of position before that shot was taken. I don't think he had a chance to get himself in the right spot. And the second goal was a 5-hole from down low, which at the time put the team down 2-1 after they were at one point up 1-0. So it is a theme with him. He will make these nice saves, but I don't care about the nice save when you let in 2 bad ones 10 minutes later. And that's just what he has done his entire career. For as well as he played this year, he still gave up some bad goals and sometimes in bad spots. And I'm personally, I'm in a spot now. I never want to see him wear a Sabres jersey again. You know, Lions, I'm assuming Lions playing. There's no reason for Lion not to play. And at this point, you just have Ellis back up, because in game 6, if you need your backup goalie, it doesn't really matter who it is anyway. So, you know, I can't justify ever wanting to see him in a Sabres jersey again.
I do want to make a comment here before I get into my UPL, my thoughts on that. Here's why I'm disappointed at that Tage breakaway miss. Our team just stopped playing. Before that, we were thought. And here's the thing with Tage too, and all of us being goalies, maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree. I feel like Tage is such like a shoot first guy.
He had room
there, like he slowed himself down.
Yeah.
He gave the advantage so much to Dobich there. Like the moment he slowed down, I know it's a small ice situation, but like the moment he slowed down, I'm like, he's making the save. Like and that moment right there.
I thought he as he went across, I thought he was going to go 5-hole. I did. And when you look at the replay, Dobich's right pad was up. And there was a moment, and we as goalies know how tough that is, going across your crease when you have that leverage against you, especially in a breakaway type situation. I don't even know how he stayed onside or got behind the defense in the way that he did, but he did, right? And he had the opportunity. And as he was going across the crease, I was just like, you are losing all of your leverage. He lost all of his leverage to Dobis, who is a 6'4" goalie, models his game after Andrei Vasilevsky, and he was easily able to get his pad over and get his pad up. It was, you got to give him credit, really good save. And I also think, he did battle back tonight, but I also think the Canadians played much better defensively than the Sabres did for most of the night. Connor Timmins was obviously a liability, but Bo Byram's been absolutely abysmal for 2 straight games. Obviously Dahlin takes a bad penalty. Tage takes a bad penalty. It's team defense, and they were panicked in their own zone the entire night. They panicked with a lead in their home barn, tied 2-2 in a game 5. It's inexcusable. It really is. From every single player on the ice that allowed those situations to happen. I do not know how Connor Timmins ever thought throwing the puck into the house from behind the net was a good idea, but it was really, really brutal. And I'll leave it at that.
And it's funny mentioning Timmins. You would think Timmins played 15, 20 minutes today, and I'm looking at it right now. He played 10:56, and he stood out more. He stood out more than guys that were out there for 25 minutes. You know, you would think he played half the game. I mean, I want to give Byram a little bit of a pass. I'm not happy with how he played, but he for a little while in the playoffs, he's been their best player. You know, he's all over the ice. He's making plays. He's looked very good. Last 2 games have been awful, but you know, I want to give him a little bit of a pass. Unfortunately, it's game 4 and 5 of the second round of the playoffs. So,
I think their best defenseman, hands down, has been Samuelsson pretty much all playoffs. I thought that, I mean, realistically, he's their team MVP in my opinion. Comeback player of the year, MVP, in my opinion, one of their MVPs for sure, top 3.
Led the team in shots today.
Yeah, and the defensive turnovers were inexcusable. The Timmins play, especially. I mean, I just felt there were way too many blind passes. They were making ballsy moves when they didn't have to. Like they had the game in their control in that first period.
They could have played like they did the third period in game 4 and just chipped out.
Yeah.
And they decided to. They didn't. Obviously, you can't play scared with the lead, but they played fire wagon hockey with a lead for some reason, which is crazy.
And a comment here from Brandon: what is it that Shen does that Kessering or Metza can't?
I mean, I think
what are we doing?
I'd be shocked if Michael Kessering doesn't play on Saturday. I'd be shocked.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it actually there's a good chance it's Kesselring Meza on Saturday. I really
It should
do.
be too.
Yeah.
It should be. And realistically, even if you limit that pairing to like 10 minutes, okay, they play 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my top 4 defensemen, I want them playing fucking 28 minutes in game
six. At least they're going to be hopefully defensively responsible in their own zone, and that's all you can ask for from the third pair.
And they can both skate well enough to keep up with Montreal. Personally, if those two are in the lineup, I want more than 10 minutes out of them. I mean, you didn't trade for Shen for him to play in the playoffs.
No.
You traded it for him to, cool. You had him against Tampa. He's a locker room guy. He's been around, but he should not be on the ice right now. I don't care if it's for 8 minutes. He should not be out there. But you also got Power's ankle looked ugly. Hopefully there's nothing to it. He did go back out there, but once you take your skate off, anything can happen there. So I hope nothing's wrong there, but that could also be a spot where maybe he ends up missing a game and you don't have a choice but to put somebody else in, as long as you're not going back to Stanley, because that's another one. I never want to see him in a Sabres jersey again.
Yeah. I mean, what sucks into, and I'm not going to sit here and turn this into, because I still got to touch on the UPL stuff, but out of all the moves made at the deadline, the only guy playing in Game 5, an opportunity to take the lead going back to the Bell Center, was Luke fucking Shen. The only one out of all your deadline acquisitions was Luke Shen.
I mean, Sam Carrick should be your fourth line center, but they had him fight fucking Anders Lee in a meaningless fight because they felt like they had to prove a point. And then
I don't get it.
Then he got injured for a month and a half.
Yep. And then he gets sucker punched in his first game back by was it Jack Eye?
Arbor Jackass, yeah.
Jackass, Arbor Jackass.
Yeah.
And listen, it sucks. I mean, he did try and take swings. We had Parayko. We thought we had Parayko at the finish line. That didn't happen. We could really use him right now, personally.
I think Thomas gets this team to the Stanley Cup. I really do.
100%, dude. 100%, man. And don't get me wrong, Hellenis, love the way he looks. I know we've had this discussion during the trade deadline, but I include him in a trade right now for Robert Thomas, knowing what Robert Thomas can do for his team.
Maybe so. I think I would say
that's woulda, coulda, shoulda, but
I think Helenius over Ostlund, because I think Ostlund is a star. I really do. But
so do I.
Yeah. Who knows what it was or what it would have been? It's pointless at this point. But clearly they didn't do enough, and it's hurting them right now.
Yeah, and I haven't looked up Thomas's face-off percentage, but he's a center that scores goals, and if he can win face-offs at a fairly respectable rate, that helps his team, because right now that's also very atrocious. So, I mean, I'm absolutely trading Consta for him.
Yeah. So I want to get to my thoughts on UPL. I'm sure Connor knows what's coming. And listen, and I tweeted it earlier. I was like, I'm not a UPL hater. I really genuinely am not. Like
you want to see him succeed.
100%. Yeah. I want my hockey team to win. I don't care who's playing. I want my team to win. But and I was a huge fan of him coming out of I think was it Sudbury he played for?
In the OHL, yeah.
Yeah, in the O. And we are one of our close friends of the program, Ryan Jury, who got to watch him firsthand. He calls OHL games. He was a huge fan of him. And I remember when we drafted him, he told me all about it. I was like, you're gonna love this kid. He's fantastic. He has the ability, like Mike said, to make all of those huge saves. And I don't know if it's we're too far past it with him to bring a more calmness and structure to his game at this point. I mean, he's 25, 26 at this right now. But he's so chaotic. He moves so much for such a big guy. Mike, I know he moves a lot more than he has to. And then when it rains, it pours with him. It's just a fact. We've seen it so much. And I said, even in that 8-7 Tampa win, when the game was so important in the standings, yeah, he battled back in the third period, but the team won that game in spite of him, not the other way around. He played like dog shit that game. And that was his most important game of the season up until that point. Granted, he did take the reins and he played fantastic when Lyon got hurt. But there was really nobody there to take the spot from him other than Colton Ellis. So it was really his show to have. Like, he was given the opportunity, he took it, he ran with it. But once he had it in the playoffs, plays a decent game in game 1, and then game 2, he fucking shits all down his leg. And he should have went right back to Lyon. He should have went right back to Lyon. He's the more calming guy. He brings you more stability. There's more confidence. Even a lot of the fans of the crowd tonight, it was every time the puck went towards the net, you were fucking clenching your asshole because what's going to happen? It's either going to be an incredible save or you're going to see what happens on goal 4 and 5.
I think you're being optimistic.
I want him to play well. But at this point, how much longer are we going to sit here and do this with this guy?
I think you're being optimistic saying he was good in game 1. If you recall the first save he made, somehow he didn't even have his stick in his hand. And again, same deal. He made nice saves, but was he out of his mind the reason they won that game? No, he did what he had to do, but he wasn't fantastic. And he struggled. He gave up rebounds. He was out of position. It should have been 2-0 at the end of the first period if Pasternak just didn't shoot on a wide open net because Luukkonen didn't get to the other side in any time whatsoever. So I'm not even sure he was good in that game. And then there's game 2 where he gave one up from center ice, but I get why they started him game 1 because down the stretch, Lyon at the end of the day wasn't good and Luukkonen was playing better, but he's not that guy. He just isn't.
I mean, I also get why they started him tonight, though. I really do. Given what happened in game 4, right? Like, I think that this is Lindy's playbook, and he's really stuck to this throughout his career. So it does make sense that he started tonight. I really do believe that. It's just the combination of factors, I think, contributed to. Yeah, maybe it's something mental, maybe it's emotional. I do agree that for as big as he is, he could play more of like a Henrik Lundqvist type style, and he doesn't for some reason, which is crazy to me. Because look on the Demidov save in the second period, or I guess it was the second period right before the onslaught happened. He makes a save that I think not a lot of goalies in the NHL make, right? Like he gets across his crease, goes basically full split on a backdoor one-timer, makes this unbelievable save that you feel like is going to potentially turn the tide of the game, as he did in the third period against Cole Caulfield twice in a row on Tuesday night. But then lets in a squeaker from a bad angle, and it gets behind him, and they tap it in. And you are confounded that a goalie like this, at this level, with his acumen and his credibility, I mean, not his credibility, his pedigree, could theoretically let these goals in. And yeah, we're not psychologists. Nobody's a psychologist here. It's hard to know, but none of us have ever spoken to him or met him. So I think it's hard to say that it's something mental, but I think I think the best explanation is that he's playing outside of himself way too often for his stature and for his build. And he overplays certain plays. And as we saw with the 4th goal and even the 5th goal tonight, when his pad wasn't down. Yeah, that'll happen. And it sucks.
The chat is kind of crazy right now. We're bring up Devin Levi comments, play Colton Ellis comments.
I mean, that's
I love Devin Levi. I don't.
Colton Ellis is a smaller UPL.
If we're talking talk about chaos, like Colton Ellis is chaos.
He had some great games this year, but he also had some really bad games.
Yeah. And Connor, I agree with you as far as they had to start UPL this game. There's no way around it. You're absolutely right there. And, I know there's probably some more UPL talk here, but I have a whole nother issue with the whole UPL thing and why he's even playing in this series. And it goes in a whole nother direction that I don't even know if we have time for right now. And it's probably going to piss off a lot of the chat, but I know I think we can finish the UPL conversation first and see where we're at there. Because there's I mean, you're right, but I still don't believe he should have played at all in this series.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just more so think they started him game 4 because of the way they did the rotation all season long, right? Like, obviously, game 2 and 3 aren't necessarily completely on Alex Lyon, but if you give up 5 and you give up 4 and 5 in a row, Lindy is naturally gonna cater to that, right? Like, I think that worked for them, and he did have good numbers for most of the season. So that's the reason he played game 4. And for the most part, I thought he played great, and he helped them win that game on the road. But going into Saturday night, even from Alex Lyon's perspective, it's not necessarily the easiest spot to be in, right? Like, you see the way this team is playing defensively, you know that you're going to have to make big saves backdoor. Like, it's not necessarily his game. I think he's at his best when he plays within himself and his defense supports him. And right now, the defensive structure from this team, not only from a defenseman perspective, but from a forward perspective, it's not good. They're running around, they're puck watching, they're not doing anything that they've done for the entire season, which they've had success with. And with any goalie in the net, I just currently don't feel super confident at the moment. But hopefully, as they did after game 3, they look in the mirror a little bit and they figure out what they need to do. And they do what needs to get done on Saturday night in Montreal, which will be undoubtedly one of the craziest atmospheres in sports.
I mean, and again, I mentioned earlier, Alex Tuch needs to have the best game of his career on Saturday. Tage Thompson, I don't care what he's dealing with, if it is or isn't doing. Like, I got a message. So, like, Steve Dangle with the Steve Dangle Podcast Network, he does live simulcasts of watch parties, essentially, where you get to watch him watch the game, and he like commentates. So he's been doing that with Buffalo, Montreal, and he texted me during tonight's game. He's like, "Yo, what is wrong with Tage? He looks disinterested and lackadaisical." And I tend to agree. There were plays out there, man, where it's like, buddy, like, where's the urgency? Where's the desperation? Where's the jump in your step? It was like, and again, I it's a callback. I said, when he didn't score on that breakaway, that was a major shift in this game, because you gave Dobish all that swagger that he needed there, him making that save. The guys come, they tap him on the pads like, hey, we're right back in this. Let's get after it. We're not out of this. And then they took the steering wheel and they never let go from there. You had an opportunity to make that game 4-2. And like you said earlier, Connor, just really just play a chip and chase type of game, bear down defensively like you did in the third in game 4, and come out of this with a win. But you didn't. You didn't finish there. And it was like the team just got deflated. Yeah, you scored that third goal. Great. Or I'm sorry. No. We were winning 3-2 on that. Right? Yeah, we were winning 3-2 on that. So it's like you had an opportunity to get that game out of reach. Instead, you let them score 4 unanswered goals. And for me, it's just like one play, one missed opportunity. That can't be the reaction almost from 80% of your team. And that's just the way it was. It's like they almost gave up on themselves. There was no urgency or desperation in their game from that point forward. The game was over almost, essentially.
And again, I repeat, I hope he's hurt, because he's not one that shies away from contact, and he is avoiding everything. He's not battling in the corners. He's not digging for those loose pucks. It has to be an injury. And the way he responded to, I believe it was Paul Hamilton the other day, you got to think it is. And he's just not going to announce it until they're done. But I mean, I've never seen him avoid contact the way he's avoiding contact right now.
I know we get to post-game comments, but given our discussion, I just wanted to read this one because I just find this fucking insane. Rough on losing at home in the playoffs. The playoffs are a different animal. Says he doesn't know if family, friends, or other distractions are a part of it, but he knows they are good on the road. And when they come back for Game 7, prepare yourselves for this. They will play it like they are on the road.
What? What does that mean? What? What the fuck?
They're broken. They're broken.
I think.
Hey, Hurls, should we all wear Montreal jerseys?
They're yeah, like everyone wear your butter knives jerseys. Like
everybody wear red.
Apparently they're broken and they can't play in front of their home crowd.
I think Lindy's lost his mind as well.
That's
I mean, insane. I just
that is insane.
I don't know.
That's one of the craziest quotes I've ever heard.
That like I don't even know how to react to that.
Like I respect you saying
they are mentally and emotionally broken right now.
I respect you saying when we come back for Game 7, but there are way too many Canadians fans in that arena for us to sit here and say wait till we come back and see what happens. I mean, who made the comment in the chat the other day saying you don't see a single Sabres jersey in that arena pregame in Montreal? We saw two guys behind the net, and that was it.
Shout out to those two guys behind the net, though.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's. I mean, the players see that, unfortunately, but it doesn't make me feel excited saying when we come back to Game 7.
Do we need to boo them when they score?
That's. I don't know how to respond to that comment.
Well, Brandon thinks we should boo them when they score in Game 7. We should boo them.
I don't know. Last time we booed them for not scoring on the power play for a month, we got criticized for it.
Yeah, it's true. So, got a super chat here from Rakeen Davis, our boy. If you can't handle the pressure, then what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean that's that. I think that's the overarching point to this. Like, if there are distractions in reference to comfortability, like your family and friends being there, like that should provide comfort. That should provide like peace of mind. There's a reason they talked all year about winning the Atlantic Division for getting home ice advantage. This is the whole thing that we talk about. The Bills have talked about this for years, and they haven't been able to do it, getting that 1 seed so that they can get the first round bye and get 2 home playoff games and get that advantage to get to the Super Bowl. I think the Bills actually do a great job of using their home field advantage and using the crowd and playing well at home and not being torn up by the pressure of family or friends or any other distractions. This is coping. This is crazy. For you to say that you're somehow better on the road because there's so much pressure from the fan base. This is similar to Kyle Okposo not wanting the Sabres to not tap their sticks at the end of the game and salute the fans because they said they wanted to fire Donnie Meatballs or fire Kevin Adams. This is, I mean, the word soft gets thrown around all the time, but this is soft.
And again, if you're in your 30s playing professional hockey and you can't play because mom and dad are in the arena and they're distracted, what are we doing here? Fuck are we doing?
This is Taylor Twellman. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I don't know.
We just if we get this to Game 7. We gotta boo them when they score.
We gotta
yell at Montreal to shoot on their power play.
Like I was listening to Lindy pregame and he was talking about Game 1 against Boston, and believe me, like I went to that game, I pregamed for 7 hours. I was with you at Fatty Beer. I was all over the place, and they felt nervous those first 2 periods. And Lindy even mentioned he was just like there were Game 1 jitters. There were, and I get the pressure of being a professional athlete. Like this isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but this is your job. This is what you've done your entire life. And I saw a comment to the original tweet that I read. Someone was like, "Yeah, good. Put them in the fucking Curtis Hotel the night before." Like,
yeah, right.
Whatever you need.
Somebody pull the fire alarm.
Like, if you need adversity, great. I cannot accept that as an excuse. I cannot. Like, I don't think any fan can look at that quote and hear that from Lindy and be like, we're paying I had friends tonight that were at Ballyhoo 2 hours before the game, and they were considering just watching it there and not going to the game, but they were so unbelievably excited by the atmosphere and they wanted to be in the building that they paid $320 a ticket to sit in the 100 level to be at that game. And their first playoff game this season, first playoff game in 15 years. And like myself, I paid upwards of $700 to go to 3 different home games for the Bruins series. And I flew all the way home for it. And believe me, I wouldn't trade it for a second because the atmosphere was incredible. And I'm a Sabres fan through and through. And I always want to be in the building no matter what. But it's almost a disservice to the fans that are doing this for you to say that. For you to say that there are too many outside pressures associated with being at home. That is justifiably insane.
It is, man.
It is nuts.
It is.
It is absolutely nuts to say that.
You play. You fought so hard the last 20 games of this season to win the division.
Home ice advantage.
To have home ice advantage, and you overcame a very physical and very, I guess some would say, intimidating Tampa Bay team.
And they played well at home this year too.
Yeah, they played even good at home.
They were great at home.
Like they're one of the best teams in the league at home. One of the best 5-on-5 teams in the league. Like, yeah, the power play has been like a talking point all season, but even they went 2 for 2. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the penalties at the end of the game because those are all nonsense penalties. But Montreal went 2 for 2 on the power play tonight. Because the refs realistically put the whistles away. It was almost like they were making a point of it not to call penalties because they could have called more penalties. But we're not going to blame the refs tonight. We're not going to have that conversation. But like, I don't know, man. Like we said it on this show, Connor. Stay out of the box. You win this game 5-on-5. You should because you're the better team. And it's like you just gave up on yourselves. You really did. You succumb to some imaginary pressure that wasn't present. Like, yeah, you score one, they score. You score a second, they score right back. And you score that third one, and you keep the pressure on them. You score three goals on 4 shots against Dobish. The fucking arena is losing its mind. You can't hear yourself thinking there. And Dobish, like the chant, like over and over and over and over again. Like it was nonstop. And then, like I said, after that, Tage didn't bury that breakaway. They settled in, and it was fucking all Montreal from there, really. Like, and I just, like, what pressure? What imaginary pressure are you experiencing in your own building where you criticized fans at one point this season for leaving early? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, how can you not be fired up? How are we having this conversation here in May? How? Why?
And I can listen to the
slow. They scored first, then they get the lead. They took the lead, then they lost the lead. They took the lead back, then they lost the lead. They took back the lead the third time. I just don't get it, man. You should be ready to play for 60 full fucking minutes. They need more dogs. They need guys playing like Benson and Doan. And I know they're bottom 6 guys, but Malenstein and Krebs, guys who never take a fucking shift off. There were too many passengers tonight.
Well, that's the thing. You're absolutely right because, you know, if they came out slow, they're down 2-0, 5 minutes of the game. Okay, what's causing this? What's going on here? Realistically, I don't care what the shots were. I think it was 9-2 Montreal at one point. Sabres were horribly outplaying them. They had puck control.
Yes, they were.
They weren't getting shots in net, but they had puck control. You know, again, Suzuki and Caulfield are going to make a nice play there and a bad bounce on the first 2 goals, but you're still horribly outplaying them. You make it 3-2. You go out of the first period up 3-2. You know, that's not an excuse that you're not prepared or there's distractions because clearly you were fine. So where is he digging this distraction thing from?
Yeah, maybe it's just like him trying to like be the coach and like try to like, I don't know. Like Lindy's usually really, really good post game. And I think that's like a potential moment of weakness that he himself is so flabbergasted at the way that they're playing on home ice that he's just trying to come up with any reason for it. Right. Like that to me it's a moment of weakness. You can't say that. You can't say that when I like you said, I like that they say when we come back on home ice for game 7, even if we win on Saturday, who's going to have confidence that they're going to play well at home in game 7? Like, I'm going to be hopeful, but I'm not going to be confident. Right? Like, I don't know. I'm just going to get off that topic real quick. Tage at his best is a center. Somebody just commented that Thompson isn't a center.
Mm-hmm.
Tage at his best is a center. We've gone over this. And I think
I will say this. I agree with you, Hurls, but in order to shake something up here, because Norris has a nice play here and there.
Especially if he's hurt.
I'm gonna steal a little thunder here from Mike because I know he wants to say it, but I'm gonna say it first because he mentioned to me on the phone. Like I wouldn't hate Krebs between Doan and Benson.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Tage is hurt, you move him to wing. But I do think he's at his best, and he scored 94 points in the NHL as a center. So I think we can.
No, I agree with you. There's something not right with his game, and maybe he can't handle the full responsibility of being a center right now. And maybe that helps you get Norris going. Put him between Tuck and Tage in a must-win situation. I mean, he's your highest paid player on the team. He's supposed to be your best face-off guy. Like, I don't know, push all your chips in the fucking middle at this point, man, because you got to overload your top two and hope your guys are going to finally be your guys here in a must-win situation.
And I look at Benson and Doan below the goal line in the offensive zone are forechecking everybody. They are forcing turnovers. They look fantastic. And Krebs is playing right now. He's not scoring. He's not a goal scorer. But he's got some life where Thompson and Tuck don't. Let Krebs go. Maybe win some faceoffs, put him between those two, and just let the three of them forecheck the fuck out of everybody and just see what happens. What's the worst case scenario? You lose at this point. We're a game away anyway. So try something.
If you think Dobish is a shithead now, add Krebs to that fucking line, dude. They'll drive him nuts. So,
absolutely. I mean, the two of them in front of him will drive him insane. And I personally, we're not in a spot where we're talking about how Swayman just could have stole every single game of that series. Dobish is a head case. We've seen it. Put the puck on net with a guy in front of him. He's given up a rebound. He's given up a goal. I throw two of those three guys there, cause chaos, and see what happens.
I agree. I'm going to kick it back to our sponsors again real quick. Shout out again to Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at 7 different Western New York locations. If you need a beer, get on over to Fatty Beer. Let them know that we sent you over to Goalies on Mike. We had a blast at the Game 4 watch party at Fatty. Cammy Clooney was there. It rained, but there were still a ton of people that showed up. It was a blast. So if we do get the opportunity to do it again in the next round, I do know they have game 1 and possibly game 2 locked up for that. So not to get too ahead of ourselves because we are currently losing this series for the second time, but just something fun to think about if we can, scratch our way back into this. And then, of course, Extreme Discount Mattress with Western New York's finest selections of mattress and adjustable beds. They have 7 different Western New York locations. You can find them at their website, extrememattress.com. That's Extreme with an X. They also have a new closeout center at 1625 Walden Avenue in Cheektowaga with up to 80% off their already low prices of up to 80% off their lower prices of floor models, one-of-a-kinds, and closeouts. Make sure you go check them out. Let them know that we sent you over to Goalies with Mike. You get yourself a free match protector with the purchase of any mattress. We're going to go to Inside the Locker Room, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, after we've already gotten one of the most fucking batshit crazy quotes from Lindy Ruff to start us off here. Ruff said the second period started well. Thompson goes in and gets a chance, but from that point on, they seemed to slow it down. Their puck play wasn't good, like we said earlier. Like their game shifted dramatically after he missed on that breakaway. Ruff says Tuck has lost a little bit of his confidence, maybe trying too hard to make a play. Says he's got to move his feet, and says that line just hasn't connected and haven't been as good as they need to be. We won't need to repeat the one quote. Ruff on Power says it's encouraging that he came back and played a few shifts. We'll check on him in the morning. Luukkonen says Dobish has been good, but credits the defense in front of him. Dude, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Look at it. Like, what?
Did they really make him do media?
Did
they really make him do media?
Yeah, Luukkonen says Dobish has been good, but credits the defense in front of him.
I mean, to be fair,
what? I don't understand that comment either. Like, what? So is have
you
you
let
not
3
been good?
goals in
Has
on 4 shots, dude. You got outplayed by a goalie who let in 3 shots in a row.
Did he?
The first period.
Did he just say his defense isn't good?
What the fuck, dude?
I mean, I think he's implying that, yes.
I mean, what are these interviews?
Well, I mean,
pushing,
if we're being like, we had an entire discussion. His defense was not good tonight.
That's fine, but that's like saying I lost my love for the game. Think it, don't say it out loud.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, don't say that out loud.
Ref just said that they're going to play a game 7 at home like they are on the road. They're spiraling. They are spiraling.
They're gonna paint the fucking the Montreal's logo at center ice for game 7. They're gonna have somebody come in to sing the Canadian national anthem in French. Like they're gonna go all out with this. They're gonna go all out with it. Oh my god. Luke said, I've got to be better, and overall, we need to be better defensively. Okay. Darlene says we let some tough goals in. They got some life back. It was tight. They kind of took over in the second. We really didn't have an answer. Darlene says they kind of rolled over us in the second. Says they kept it down low in their end a lot. Darlene was asked about their best players being their players. Yep, simple as that. And that was well, I mean, I think they're still doing Mina because that was 4 minutes ago. So we might get a few more. Maybe we'll get a couple more good humdingers in here. I don't know. Let me see.
I mean, is there something that we're not seeing with this team all of a sudden? Because these comments were not made 2 months ago. You're never saying their best players were their best, because I take that as he's insinuating their best players aren't. Now, he's one of the top 3 players on the team. I understand that. So he's saying he hasn't been good, and he hasn't been fantastic, but like Luukkonen saying, without saying it, my defense hasn't been good. Darlene saying their best players are good. We're not. You know, I just, these words weren't, Lindy's comment, these words were not said 2 months ago. What the hell happened?
I don't know, man. Hey, this sounds like, from what it sounds like with Lindy, what he said there about that top line, it doesn't sound like that line's going to be together in game 6. That's for sure.
No, I don't think so at all.
There's no way, judging from that comment.
Your best 2 players are still Josh Doan and Zach Benson, right? And like, if you're gonna, like we mentioned it after game 3, if you're gonna get anybody going, I think it'd be smart to put Benson. If you're gonna keep Tage at center, Benson, Doan, and Tage on a line together, right? Like, and then maybe you put Helenus with Tuck. You got to jumpstart these guys somehow, right? Like, your 3 best players had their worst game tonight. And if Darlene, Thompson, and Tuck aren't going to show up, you're not going to win the game. So you got to do something, right? And I think Darlene's going to be fine. He's proven all year that he handles adversity really well, and I very much believe he's the best player on the team. He's the most important player on the team, and I do believe he's going to be all right. But Tage and Tuck specifically need a jump start, and they need something to switch up whatever they're going through at the moment. Maybe their injuries. We're probably, whenever this run ends, hopefully it doesn't, we're gonna get a long explanation of what those injuries are. But at this current moment, it's not working. So you can't keep them together.
No, you can't, man.
I don't know if it was on purpose. I don't know if it was on purpose, but Doan and Benson led forwards in ice time. And I think it needs to happen and not be close in game 6.
I mean, and like a couple people in my section, myself included, like, dude, Doan and Benson are just so good together. They really are, man. They complement each other so well. It's like they just know where each other is. It's like kind of like the Cone headline in Miracle Man. They just know where each other is at all times. And I don't know, like, in every other line, you know, just it hasn't really had that, you know, the Sabres, like, bread and butter, honestly, for most of the season was just the ability of that bottom 6, right? Especially the 4th line, just getting contributions from everywhere. And they just really haven't been getting that. And I don't know, man. I need Metza in. I need Kesselring in. I need some type of shakeup in that top 6. I would, you know, I'm fully in favor, like Mike, you told me on the phone, and we mentioned earlier, Krebs maybe centering that line. Make it a very chaotic line. Make it a line that's going to go out there and dig out pucks and be dogs. Just go out there and be dogs, because that's what Benson was all game, man. Like, him behind the net, the way he works the puck behind the net and along the boards, like, you just don't take him off of it. And he's creative, and he is a, you know, yeah, he might be a dumb common sense person according to Tage, but on the ice, dude, his fucking IQ is off the charts. And get a guy out there who's going to help him finish plays and who's going to go out there and work as hard. Another guy out there who's going to work as hard as him. Because right now it's just not working with Norris. And I think Norris, maybe something can, because that was the plan to start the season, right? Before Norris got hurt, him centering Tage, even though we know Tage is a better center. But I don't know, man. Maybe that's the change that's going to spark something. I don't know. How about you guys? I'm going to kick it over to you guys for your final thoughts.
I'm wondering if that'll put Tage in a better opportunity to get some shots. I mean, they're cracking down on him. Tuck's not doing anything. Krebs isn't a goal scorer at the end of the day. And, if you take Tage off that line, what's going to happen there? If you have Norris, who at the end of the day should be a goal scorer, with Tage, who is a goal scorer, maybe one of them gets freed up. We know Tage, if he lets one rip from the slot, he's going to convert on some of these, and maybe that does help, and, because they're the third line right now, because with Consta centering Quinn and Zucker, we've complained about Zucker, but he scored. He scored. He's done his job at the end of the day. He's that veteran third line guy that we want him to be. I think Quinn's look good. He just can't. He's snake bit right
He
now,
cannot find the back of the net if his life depended on it, dude.
And we know what we're getting out of the. I wish McLeod didn't disappear the entire playoffs, but Beck is still running guys through the wall. Greenway has been fine. The line just not doing what they're being asked to do is that first line. And I agree. Maybe, I think long term, yes, Tage is a center, but a change of scenery for hopefully more than one game might be a good thing.
Yeah, I think getting him in space is the priority, right? I think the Olympic team did a really good job of that, especially in the power play, getting him opportunities to use his God-given talents, right? Which is one of the most lethal releases in the league. And we haven't seen, especially in the slot, too many opportunities of Tage having room to get that shot off. Obviously, things are tighter in the playoffs, but he hasn't had too many of those opportunities. And in the same vein, Alex Tuck is at his best when he gets to the net. I haven't seen him around the net too often in this series. He hasn't done what he's best at, which is tipping pucks, getting rebounds, getting dirty goals. Every so often, he'll get a shot in the slot, and he's got a good release, but it's nowhere close to Tage, and that's not how he scores the majority of his goals. So you need to do whatever you possibly can to get your two highest performing forwards from the regular season better opportunities to score goals in the playoffs in an elimination game. This is their first elimination game. I know they said game 4 they treated it like it was an elimination game. I hope they play the same way on Saturday. I think this team has proved us wrong for most of the year when we've been down on them. I think that there is a strong possibility that they go into Montreal on Saturday night and not even win a close game. I could see them winning by 2+. I really do. There's nothing that's out of the question with this team, given what they've done for the past 5.5 months, but they really, really need to prove it, especially those top two forwards, which they have not done all series long. I'm confident in Alex Lyon. I think he's the goalie that is the most composed, that plays within himself the most. For the majority of the season, he's proven that he can handle these tough spots.
He's the most poised.
I'm expecting a solid game from him on Saturday, as we saw even in tough situations in games 2 and 3. And I really, really hope that whatever they do on Saturday, if they were able to come out with a win, that gives them the confidence they need to come home for a game 7 at home and play like it, because it's not the craziest proposition in the world for you to be confident and play within yourself and play a sound defensive structure on home ice. It is not a crazy concept. Currently to them, it sounds like it is, and it does sound like they're broken. But as we've said for a long time, winning cures everything. And if they win on Saturday night, I think winning could cure everything.
Here's a comment. And I'll respond to that. Has Hellenius earned the right to be 1C for game 6?
Shooter. He's got the juice, right?
He's played great 2 games in a row.
I think your top 9's your top 9. Who cares what the first line is?
Yeah, but I like that.
with Tuck not performing, are you going to put Constant in that spot? Yeah, you can call him the 1C because his line might be the best line that day. But if you put him out there with Tuck, who's basically just been useless the entire series, what does that do for him? Is putting him there as the, in quotes, 1C going to benefit him at all? I don't think so.
I think in quotes, if he puts him on the same line as Tage, that would be the first line, right?
Right. But again, I mean, if Tage is playing hurt and not performing, Tuck, again, is not performing at all. Can Constant go out there and run a line on his own? I'm not sure he can against the other team's top pairs. I don't know the benefits. I think having him where he is with a guy like Quinn is the perfect spot for him right now.
If theoretically they were to do Benson, Constant, and Tage, I could see that line doing well. Right?
I see that because you got another guy that's going to move the puck.
He's going to dog pucks. He's going to create turnovers.
I don't know if you want to break up Doan. Do you really want to break up Doan and Benson?
You don't want to break them up, but at the same time, they're both producing and providing opportunities in a way that like maybe each of them could spark Tage and Tuck on separate lines, right? They're doing a lot of the same things, and they're both really good at it. But like, let's say you put Benson with Tage and Doan with Tuck. Maybe that's Doan, Norris, Tuck on the second line, and then you do McLeod, Quinn, and Zucker. Obviously, they didn't really produce to begin this series, but they have played a lot together, right? And then you figure out something for the fourth line. I don't know. I love Benson and Doan together. They're so good, but they're so good at the same thing, right? Like maybe having those skill sets.
But they score.
Of course they score, but like providing that juice and those turnovers and those opportunities to get a spark from your two best players maybe isn't the worst idea.
Possibly.
I don't want to pile onto the UPL stuff from earlier, but I just watched the highlights again, and I don't know, man, that third goal, it was backdoor. It's a tough save no matter what, but he looks like he got stuck to the post and he just didn't move. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think like in those situations, yeah, like you want him to get over and make a game-changing save, but like you can't in the same way as the first one. Like you can expect like greatness, right? But like you can't necessarily put it on him.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to just move. Don't just drop to your knees and watch it go to the other side of the ice.
In the same vein, though, Lane Hudson, their best player, has all day fucking long on the opposite side, and then Timmins isn't watching Josh Anderson on the back door. It's crazy.
100%. There were four things wrong with that play, and that's why it's not. He might slide across and not even make the save. There was so much wrong with the entire play, but I'm unfortunate. I'm sitting here rewatching some of the highlights, and I shouldn't be, but.
Yeah, and it's a worthy discussion to say, like, let's say if they were able to figure out a trade this offseason that potentially theoretically could be the last time we see UPL in a Sabre sweater. And I know you've mentioned it, but it is a possibility. It absolutely is, given the inconsistency. And it's something that like it's worth discussing, but I don't think necessarily right now. He's probably not going to play the rest of the series unless Lyon gets pulled game 7. So tonight happened. I don't think he's the only reason they lost, but he's definitely one of them. And you move on and try to win a game 6.
Yeah. My only fear with Benson going with Tage, I know we're changing subjects again, but Tage wants to shoot, and I just don't know how much that benefits Benson. I think Tage is going to get the puck. He's going to go up and down the ice. Sorry to say, he might turn it over, and Benson's just going to kind of be going up and down the ice with nothing to do. I don't know if that benefit. I've said it in the chat all season. I don't like Benson with Tage. I don't think that's the right spot for. I think Benson on that second line spot with right now it's Norris. I don't know if that's the right fit, but with another winger like Doan, who's that good, probably second line winger. I just think that's the perfect spot for him. He's not against the top pairs too often. And I don't know if there's just something about the way he looks when he's with Tage versus away from Tage. I think he's such a better player when he's not on Tage's wing. I don't know if that made sense, but I just don't think the way Tage plays does Benson any good.
It's completely fair. I just think the discussion is mostly just like getting players on his line that, especially if he's hurt, just to spark him at all. And the point I made earlier, like he's at his best when he's got space. And currently he doesn't have space right now, or at least he's not playing in the way where he's creating his own space. So hopefully some attention directed at somebody else theoretically could make some space for him to get off his shot which I don't think is what is hindering him at the moment. I think he still has his shot. I think it's a lower body. I really do. So if you find a way to create space for your best player with one of the best shots in the NHL, I do think that's paramount.
Yeah, I'm on board with the Doan idea. I would love to see that. Whether I personally don't care at this point who's center, as long as the line works. If Norris is going to take the faceoffs, and from that point on, Tage plays the center position in quotes, I think that I'm on board with that because it's two shooters. Who do you cover? Maybe they take away Tage and Norris gets open in the slot, and he can score some goals. So I don't hate the idea of giving that a look.
Yeah, I agree with that. Whoever centers that top line, I just need him to be a shooter. Just to be a shooter. Get him the puck and let him shoot. And that's why I like Helena, in that position. I know we already did final thoughts. You guys have anything last to say before we kick on out of here?
I think I've said it. I'm good.
I appreciate hopping on with us, Mike.
Yeah.
If any of you guys have enjoyed this podcast, we are if you're audio only, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. If you watch along on Twitter, you can find myself at Duane S39. You can find my co-host Connor Hurley at CHurls13. Find the podcast itself at 2 Goalies 1 Mike. We are on Instagram as well at the same handles. Actually, Hurls, what's your handle on Instagram?
Hurley Connor 13.
Hurley Connor 13. Okay. So that's where you can find Connor. You can also find the podcast at 2 Goalies 1 Mike. We'd love to follow from you there. We're on Facebook as well. And for all you, apparently we got a lot of Habs fans in the chat too again tonight, Hurls. It's
I don't give a fuck. I was in their chat
do I.
after game 4. I'll be in their chats after game 6.
Yes,
I will. We'll see you for a road game in Buffalo in game 7.
See you for a road game in Buffalo in game 7. If you're watching along on YouTube, please make sure you're subscribed. Hit the little bell icon. Turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. And make sure you smash that like button. Appreciate all the support. All hail the Lion King in game 6. We'll talk to you later. And as always, go Sabres.